Donald Trump's weakness with regard to reproductive rights persisted throughout the 2024 election campaign. He alienated important demographics, such as young males who were still unsure, by appointing justices who opposed abortion. However, Trump responded to this issue with humor rather than demagoguery. Trump's approach was best seen in October when he appeared on comedian Andrew Schultz's podcast, Flagrant. Regarding Trump's youngest kid, Barron is 18, Schultz made a joke. He is free in the city of New York. Do you really want to overturn Roe v. Wade right now? Trump, Schultz, and probably thousands of young men who listened all laughed. Trump responded with cliched statements about states' rights, but the content was less important. Trump was able to casually discard his controversial stance by using Schultz to make it into a frat-guy joke. On his path to re-election, Trump finally won the media cycle and the votes of most young males. In contrast, Vice President Kamala Harris made appearances on popular comedy shows such as The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, which have a younger audience and a more liberal demographic. Her inability to connect with young people was condemned by pundits, but the issue is more widespread. Leftist comedians have not kept up with the latest developments in media. Political humor was dominated for decades by liberal satire. Right-wing hypocrisy was exposed by shows like The Daily Show, The Colbert Report, and Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, which used incisive humor and thorough investigation. Although it used to work, this recipe has become stale. College-educated liberals who are already predisposed to agree with its message are the main audience for liberal comedy, which increasingly puts political preaching above laughter. This tendency is best shown by HBO's Last Week Tonight. Although persuasive, Oliver's lengthy lectures on topics like internet control and immunizations come out as patronizing. Oliver twice reminded viewers of previous portions in a recent broadcast, reprimanding them for not remembering things as if they were students sitting a test. The tone is more akin to a rebuke than amusement. Younger, indecisive voters no longer respond well to this approach, which was successful in the 2000s. In order to re-engage this audience, especially young men, liberal humor needs to change. But the right has already grasped the opportunity, creating a potent new connection between political influence and humor. Algorithm-driven targeting and digital platforms have helped right-wing humor thrive. Conservatives have trouble making jokes for years. However, since 2016, celebrities like Joe Rogan have amassed sizable followings by fusing politics, culture, and lighthearted banter that appeals to young men. Numerous conservative comedians and cultural analysts frequently appear on Rogan's show, The Joe Rogan Experience. They together constitute a de facto network of right-wing humor. This change was evident in Trump's October media trip. His most well-known appearances were on Lex Fridman, Theo Vaughn, and Schultz's podcasts. Liberal satire stands in stark contrast to this type of comedy. The Daily Show and Last Week Tonight are two examples of shows that use well-written 30-minute episodes to present complex ideas. However, Rogan and his affiliates hang out with audiences for hours on end, forming parasocial ties with them as they go about their everyday lives. For instance, there weren't many witty jokes during Trump's appearance on Vaughn's podcast. Rather, it provided humorous, intimate stories interspersed with political commentary, lighthearted, approachable material that appeals to youthful audiences. Comedy has a cyclical style. Mort Sahl made wry remarks while reading newspapers on stage in the 1950s. Protest songs were matched with yo-yos by the Smothers Brothers. Jerry Seinfeld's apolitical observational humor was the most popular in the 1980s and 1990s. In the 2000s, cable TV's need to appeal to young males gave rise to the liberal satire of Stewart and Oliver. Liberal humor hasn't altered, nevertheless, while media preferences and habits have. Right-wing comedians, however, have adjusted. Short